love that music. What's up, everybody? This is CRL Chart Request Live. I'm Spencer Israel. That's Sam Gatlin. This is the show where you provide the requests and we provide the charts, or Sam provides the charts. Sam, what's good, man?
Well, Gene, our production man, he hooked us up with that country music. So big shout out goes to Gene for that. You're
I
the man.
I I, I was feeling the tunes. I was disappointed when it ended, but then I had to start talking. So here we are. Okay, we got a very full inbox today, so let's jump right in. The first one actually was from the other day. We didn't get to it. It was Shopify. This is from Hanson. So the question here is, he's already long. He's looking for levels to manage his risk in Shopify. And once again, if you have a request, drop them in the chat or email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. Here we go.
Sure. So this 61.8 retracement really stands out to me on the Shopify. The market respected this 38.2 retracement. It took us about half a year to digest that overhead supply there. So I'm not saying it needs another 6 month consolidation, but I think it would make a lot of sense for this one to digest here before continuing this uptrend towards 177. I do think that is where this one ultimately ends up, but
So
I think it could take some time.
but if you were to manage risk here on the downside,
Right. So I would be looking to take some profits here at 118. I think today is a great day to sell if you have your full position. Now, if you, I don't know, bought half your position here at 82 and want to add to that position, I think this also makes a lot of sense to do that. Like if we can reclaim this 118 level, then the path of least resistance will shift towards that 177, and you want to have that full position on for it. But yeah, like look at this weekly momentum getting pretty hot. Daily, you got a pretty good momentum divergence on the daily. So I think it makes a lot of sense for this one to cool down here. 118 is the level to sell at.
okay, and that's pretty much where we're at. So,
Yep.
okay, here's one from R. Simon. Someone may want to look at Chegg, CHGG. It's been the biggest piece of shit on the planet. That's true. That's not him. That's me. And it's coming off the bottom. So Chegg was killed. This is like the anti-AI trade. This thing got killed when Nvidia announced AI stuff. When AI became a thing last year, this thing got destroyed. And I know they've changed things up in the C-suite and done some layoffs and some weird. So it's a whole thing here. But online learning turns out is a whole lot easier with AI and ChatGPT, and you don't need to pay for online tutors. So anyway, the question was, we're coming off the bottom. Look at Chegg. So let's look at.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. This is like the not a zero pattern. If you have some reason to believe Chegg's not a zero, then this is interesting. You had a massive momentum divergence favoring the bulls that started back this summer, right after Chegg completed this top. So this top has just kind of been in question the entire time. However,
Look at all those gaps, man. Is there a gap here?
yeah,
Is there a gap
yeah.
here chart than this one? Maybe Sava. I don't know.
Snapchat. Snapchat's had some nasty gaps.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
no, this one, yeah. So, yeah, I think this one's going to retest that 320 level. So, uh, that's still a pretty good move. That's like 40% from current levels. But where do you get in? That is the question. I think you could define your risk against this shelf right here at 230, which is pretty much where we're at today. We're falling below it. So if we reclaim 230, you buy Chegg and sell it at 330. I think that's the move here. But this is a very tactical game here. You're betting on this one not being a zero. The path of least resistance is very much to the downside for this one.
Wait, zoom in again. Did it fill that gap? just there? It almost did. I don't know if it did exactly. It almost. Oh, actually, god damn, man. Gaps are a wonderful thing. It's. I think it did fill it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. That's something that is debated amongst technicians. Like, is this really the gap here, or like, are you looking to sell at this former support?
Well,
It
regardless,
seems like it's respecting this former support and not really the
sure,
gap.
definitely.
So,
All right, it's respecting that whole area. We'll put
yeah,
it that way. Okay.
yeah,
That was an interesting one.
yeah.
He also dropped, he or she, whoever our Simon is, dropped a few other names in here. We'll look at one more. We'll look at he or she mentioned Celsius. So let's talk about Celsius.
Yeah.
Who was talking about this one the other day? It wasn't.
I saw some bank upgraded it.
Was it me and you? I was talking about this with somebody. It wasn't. Maybe it was Alfonso. I don't remember who. But yeah, this chart is just wicked downtrend for what, the last 6 months or so. I don't know.
Right. This one has been a huge winner since this 2011 low.
Yeah,
Over that decade, it rallied over 200,000%. That is a life-changing.
This thing was
right
a COVID darling. Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's been a darling for a long time. We are retesting this pre-financial crisis high that preceded a nasty. Let's see how severe this was. 99% drawdown from 2007 to 2008, about 16 months it did that. So this is an important level. I think there's some price memory here. You saw the market respect it right here in 2021. And now I think you want to bet on the bulls showing up here and flipping former resistance into support. And that's what we've seen so far. We retested it perfectly right here, and now you're seeing some green candle. This looks like a great setup here. So we only want this one above 25.5, which we are currently well above. So that is how I'd like to define risk. And on the upside, I think the VWAP from that all-time high is going to be a problem. I think we can drop some WAPs, or we can fib it out as well as dropping the WAP. So
always drop a WAP and fib it out.
Yeah, man, you want to give yourself the most information possible. So I think that's your first target right there, is long above 25.5, target 47. From there, you're looking at that Fibonacci range between 54 and 72.
It's a long ways off. You know what's a fun chart is the Celsius over Monster Energy, or vice versa, right? I mean, these are the two pure play energy drink stocks, right?
Yeah.
And they were both, Monster was like the biggest gainer going back to the year like 2000 or whatever. I guess it starts at 07, whenever the Monster IPO was. Yeah, like late 90s. Yeah, it's the biggest gainer.
So here's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
From this 1996 low
crazy
to the all-time high, it's rallied over like 1,000,000%. It's like a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Anyway, there's not many of these energy drink stocks out there, but here are two of them. Nope. If you're into that sort of thing. All
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, this Celsius is a really interesting one. Shout out whoever brought that along.
Let's move on here. On the morning show today, we were talking with Grant about mid caps and how no one cares. Nick cares because Nick asked about the VO, the Vanguard Mid Cap ETF. I am not kidding. This is a real request from a real person. It's like the anti Monster Energy Celsius trade.
So this is like the mid cap 400. Okay.
Yep.
Same thing. Basically, let me pull up my Koyfin here and
do we see what's in it?
See what's in it, because yeah, that is first when you're analyzing an ETF, is you need to know what's in it. So number one is Palantir, and then you have Constellation Energy, the AI utility, Welltower, AI REIT, You have some interesting companies in here. It's very equally weighted at the top there. Like Palantir is 1% of the ETF, so you don't have any outsized holdings, which is could be a good thing, could also be a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But this looks great. Let's pull up some momentum on here. So we'll start out with long term. It looks great. Nothing to worry about. I think this daily RSI right here at 50 is really interesting. So you are firmly in a bullish momentum regime. And in uptrends, you see the bulls step up when RSI gets towards the middle of the range, around 50. You don't see RSI towards 30 in uptrends. So I think this could be the low here. Of course, that's speculation. I think you need to define your risk against this low is how I would do that. And so that comes in around 277 and a half. Your first target is this anchored VWAP from that all-time high. And then from there, I think we're going to use the fibs from this prior base. So you have your tactical entry there, and if you successfully buy this and get a new high, then you're looking at 311 from there, and that's a good move. So 280 to 311 is about 10%. You're getting that $300 roll effect.
This better be for whoever asked this was a Nick. This better be for an investment, man, because this is like the slowest thing ever.
Yeah, so, if you're a trader, I think you should utilize the options.
Right.
Juice.
Okay. Let's do a couple more from the inbox, and then we have a few in the chat I want to get to. Craig asked about QFin. This is Chinese fintech.
Yeah.
He said, "Is this a monster base ready to break out?" Well, it's already doubled since August, right? So in some respects, you could say it already did break out, but I see what he's saying.
So this is a $6 billion Chinese stock. So is this like the upstart of China?
Don't even ask me. I don't know what they do. Let's find out. Let's find out.
I think that's the idea.
Let's find out what they do.
So it's a great chart, man. Working up the right-hand side of this base. I think you're gonna find some sellers up here at 44, 45. That's gonna be a problem, I anticipate. But let's pull up the momentum. See how
this is like a credit services company. Well, yeah, right. Fintech, right? So yeah. Credit reporting and all that jazz.
Right. So this is the first stop, 45. Momentum is starting to look a little bit suspicious. I fully anticipate sellers to show up here at 45. So give this one time. I wouldn't be a buyer here today. I think you really just want this one on a resolution of this multi-year basing pattern. So above 45, let's call it. Let me adjust my fib real fast. Above 45, that'll get you 67. And I think it gets 100 eventually. This is a big base. It has a lot of momentum behind it. It's up 300% from the lows. I think this one could easily double again over the next 6 or 12 months.
Wow.
This is a nice find, whoever brought this.
I mean, we've been talking about China, so it stands to reason that, and this one looks probably better than most, if not all, of the Chinese stocks that we've been looking at, right? The Shanghai index that Steve and Alfonso made the other day.
Right. And this is QFin benchmarks to the FXI. It's already resolved that pattern. It's making new all-time highs. This is exactly what you want to see in a leader. QFin is a leader. Just difficult to buy today.
All right, let's go to the chat. Elijah wants to know if Upstart is a buy. Do you know what Upstart does, Sam?
Credit services, right?
Yeah, that was sort of a joke, but yeah.
So yeah, I love this range here. You clearly have buyers and sellers uh, struggling to take control of it. I think the resolution from this range is going to be explosive, and the underlying trend is very much higher. From this August 5th candle, we have rallied 300% in the upstart. So you definitely want to bet on more upside, in my opinion, and a close above 81 and a half is your entry to buy. So from there, you are targeting this first Fibonacci level at about 160, and I love to see how the market respected it back here in 2022. These are not just fairy tale lines I'm drawing. So yeah, love this one. Above those pivot highs, I think you can easily get 160 from there.
160.
Yeah,
Dear Lord.
it's about a double.
That's yeah. I was gonna say that's a long ways away, man.
Yeah, it's tripled since August 5th. So what's
All right,
another
yeah.
100%?
You're right. Okay, that's fair. But that's with smaller numbers, man.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. I'm going out of order here. Yes, Jonathan, you that's right. You did email us about Root. So let's bring up ROOT. What did Jonathan say? He was looking. He's caught long a little higher, up at $88. He's looking for the long-term outlook here on Root. He's got to stop below the VWAP at 69.40. Obviously, goes without saying.
I think that's very important. You really don't want to see this one. Like it could easily do one of these whipsaws again, you know. We broke above the VWAP here, whipsaw down. Broke above, whipsaw down. Broke above, whipsaw down. So is that what we're about to get again? I think this one is vulnerable to a retest of this $38 if you lose that VWAP. So I think that is first and foremost critical to have hard stop there.
Watch out for this one. This one has a low float and a somewhat high short interest, and this is one of those ones that I see on my pre-market scanner periodically, a couple times a month, maybe a little more. It's just gapping up or gapping down for no reason other than that it can. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, it's a crazy one for sure. I think there's something going on with the Florida insurance situation. Like I'm pretty sure this Ripper was back when they were having natural disasters in Florida earlier this year. So I'm not sure the fundamental story, but I believe it's something like that. So yeah, this one is up 3,500% from this March 2023 low. So there is serious momentum behind it. I think you want to bet on more upside, but I think it could take some time to digest around here. So you said you had a position at $88, right?
Yep.
So I think you hold it. And let the market prove you wrong by closing below this VWAP. That's about all I can say. But above there, I think the path of least resistance is higher towards 200. So this one's definitely a winner. Just really difficult here today.
Okay. Kano is kind of wavy for a random international stock. So this one is SUPV. I'm not going to pretend to pronounce this. It is a South Argentinian bank. So
a regional bank.
Yeah.
Sweet. $1 billion just crossed that line. Sweet. This one is Argentina. Moving. Wow. Yeah. Wavy. Big shout out, Wavy. So we've rallied 1,000% since this 2022 low, and we are probably about to find a Fibonacci retracement level. And what do you know? 1375 is that level. Looks like we got pretty close there earlier today, or pulling back intraday. But I think the sellers are gonna show up there. I don't think this is the place to buy it. I think you wait and see the bulls close this one above $14, above 14, and that'll get you 21 and a half. This one's a great looking chart, a textbook saucer bottom. Love to see that.
The reason I like the show is because it also gives me ideas. So SUPV is an idea that I like. Also, how do you say that?
I really like how the risk is defined here as well.
I
A
love
very, very clean shelf there at 14.
I love when there's an easy, obvious out. Always.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Swara Jam, hope I'm saying that right, is asked about grab. Grab, this is a great one. I love this. You have an easy out to find and grab. $5 would be my out. But you got a huge run up, nice pullback. What do you think here?
Yeah, so this is the Uber of Southeast Asia. Am I correct?
Yep.
So that is probably a business I want to be involved in. I think you missed the breakout. If you're not involved today, this was the level to get involved. $4. Could not have asked for a better shelf to buy against. So you have missed that at this point. So what do? I think you have option A. You wait for a pullback to $4. But the best uptrends do not retest to the breakout level. So if this one could be one of the best uptrends in the market, so I wouldn't bet on this one retesting that shelf of former highs. What I would do is try to get involved on some type of continuation pattern. So you have to get more tactical with that, and it's much easier to get whipsawed around. So it is not an ideal situation, but I think you can buy against this VWAP here. It comes in about $5.20. We are currently below that, so nothing to do right now, but if you reclaim that, I think this one could reassert the primary uptrend. So a target from there is the Fibonacci retracement levels, which come in. It's gonna sound ridiculous, Spencer.
No. I mean,
So I think this one has a double in it from here, or close to it. I think 8.25 is your first target, and we're currently just above $5. So I think that is the trade. I think you want to get involved on some type of continuation pattern with a first target of 8.25.
Like I said, this is going on my shopping list, or my look further list after today. Okay, what about John Deere for Donovan? This thing was at all-time highs recently, not at the moment, but was, right? A couple weeks ago.
It kind of reminds me of this right here, as the United Health, one of the most important stocks in the world.
Yeah, they're both. Isn't Deere in the Dow as well?
Right, it's that big Dow type stock. Very similar setup. They didn't really have a bear market in 2022. It kind of just turned sideways instead. So that is the situation with Deere. You had a prolonged sideways trend. The bulls tried to resolve it on the heels of an earnings report back in late November. But the bears have stepped up and are capping the rally and putting this one back in the box. So I think it's really tough to be a buyer here. I think you could see a bigger washout here towards the low 400s. I think it's vulnerable to that today. But the most bullish outcome here would be the bulls step up, turn this into a bull flag, and resolve this pattern decisively. So really nothing to do here today, but that is the situation. I think you want to keep your eye on this potential continuation pattern. You want to see this one stop going down, because from failed moves come fast moves in the opposite direction. You don't want to be involved in this one if it's not above that prior cycle high.
All right, I'm not gonna do Send. That's the penny stock, kind of below our line. But let's look at SYNA Synaptics. Do you know what this does? You might know.
Semiconductors. Let's see.
Why do I think this is a biotech? I don't know. Why
It's not a biotech. No, it's a $3 billion semiconductor stock. Not a great chart here. So Synopsys versus the semiconductor industry group, SMH, is working on resolving a multi-decade distribution pattern. So let's flip it on its head. SN, SYNA. So this is not something you want to be looking to buy. I think you want to be looking for short opportunities, because it is a major laggard versus its peers, and it's below the prior cycle high of 300. It is below this 2015 peak. So that is how I would approach it. I would say this 2015 peak is my line in the sand. We're below 100. I want to be short with the target of this former low here. I think the path of least resistance points towards this 26, 27 level. But this one is a hot piece of garbage.
All right, let's look at one that's not a hot piece of garbage. We'll do a couple more. Let's do Joby. Who's asking about Joby? Daniel. I guess it matters, Daniel, if you're long from 2021 or if you're long from 2024. Right? Those things matter. But this has been a name that I know Steve loves. This one. We've talked about this before. It's had a great run. It's pulled back. Not sure what you do with it now. Do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I think this retracement level from a high level picture is very important. We are struggling with that today. So 8.5 is really the line in the sand. But the move here, I think, is to say this one just had a massive rally. It went from just $4 to $9 very quickly, almost 100% in like less than a month. So this is a very well-deserved correction. And let's see, this is how I see it. The 38.2 of this entire move comes in at 760, and you saw the market respect that level right here on December 3rd. You got a nice counter trend rally, and now I'm anticipating another bounce here at 760. Could take you back up here. Maybe you get another retest of 760 before finally taking out this pivot high. But I think that is the way to play it if you're looking to get involved here today. You buy against 760. That is a hard stop. From if you lose 760, I think you get 650 awfully fast, and that is not something I want to be involved in, as that is a double-digit drawdown.
Daniel's long from $4, so pretty good.
Yeah, hell of a trade.
Pretty good. All right, let's do one more. Let's look at Netflix. Troy's sitting on some big Netflix gains. Is she going to keep going? Obviously, my crystal ball is in the shop, so I can't tell you. Oh, look, it's already marked up. Amazing.
Yeah. So the high level target is $1,000, and if you get $1,000, you're probably going to get $1,000 roll. So a little bit more than 1,000. I think that is
What an epic! I will never get tired of looking at this chart because I remember how awful the sentiment was. The
Bill
stock fell.
Ackman puked it up at the lows,
The
right?
stock fell. What did it fall? 75% in like a year and a half. I mean, for a freaking large cap or like a mega cap, right? I mean, stocks don't just recover from that, but Netflix did. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I have to zoom into the daily to see any concerns here. You have a little bit of a momentum divergence, but I think that resolves itself, and this one continues going higher as you zoom out, and it's it's very much going up. The trend is up on basically all time frames.
Yeah.
Target of $1,000 from here. So
Just
hell of a trade.
if there was any doubt, there should not be, but if there was any doubt as to who won the streaming wars, Netflix killed everybody. Is the
Yeah.
answer, right? Netflix destroyed everybody. I mean, you rewind the clock back to 2022. They were losing subscribers, not just subscriber growth slowing. They were actually losing subscribers, and one thing led to another. They cut down on the password sharing, and bada bing, bada boom, they're back. I mean, it's a remarkable story. I don't remember a large or mega cap stock doing this in the short amount of time that Netflix has done. It's a true V bottom.
Well, look at Meta. It reminds me a lot of that.
Yes, Meta too. Meta is the exact same way. Meta and Netflix. That's right. Those are two peas in a pod. I am long Meta. I've been long for a while. I don't really know what to do. I mean, it keeps going up, so what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I think this is a very similar trade, though.
Yeah.
Both in the communications
Yeah,
sector.
that's right. XLC all-time highs. No surprise why. Okay, let's wrap it up here. I know there's a few more in the inbox we didn't get to. We'll get to those on Monday. So come back. We'll see you there, 1 o'clock, right here on the channel. As always, questions, requests, comments, concerns, email us. The email is up on the screen. Questions at stockmarketmedia.com. Please remember all the information from this show, all the levels, all the prices, and all that are for informational purposes, not for any investing or trading advice. And Patrick will be back on Monday, and we'll see you there. So have a great weekend. Thanks a lot, Sam, and keep on keeping on.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Spencer. This was fun.
Bye.